Alright, shalom, shalom to the nation of Israel, shalom, alright. This is your brother Kazakia out of Great Millstone, New Orleans, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, right? But prior to getting started, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, alright? And the title of today's lesson is going to be Healing Factors versus the Placebo. Okay, that's the title of today's lesson, is going to be Healing Factors versus the Placebo. All right, and I'm doing this lesson here, because basically, at the end of the day, brothers, have to learn, how to heal themselves, so to speak. Okay, and we learn, from Yahweh Shem Shai, basically, how to use herbs, and how to use different, medicines within the earth that heals the body, okay? All right. And, it's important, to the ministry, because you have the opposite side, which I'm going to just a code name I'm using. I'm going to just say, Big Pharma basically gives you something that's basically a placebo, okay? And this goes into something that it's a medicine that's supposed to have a psychological effect on someone over actually having a true treatment, right? Or a true cure, okay? And I'm gonna get this verse real quick first to start us off, okay? Because we got to give thanks, right, and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai first, okay? But this is our Wisdom of Solomon 16 and verse 12. It says, "For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things." Okay, so we receive, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, healing, through this word, okay, so, the first thing, you really need to detox is the spirit, man, the mind, okay, because our people have this thing where, they like to come to Yahweh Shem Shai when they're at the tail end of their life, really. When they're down and out, when they're super sick, right? When they feel like there's nowhere else to turn to, they done tried everything, right? They trust in basically the strength of Pharaoh, right? The strength of Egypt, with all the different things that he give you to take. I gotta watch the wording here. Things that he give you to take in order to heal you. Okay, and when none of those things work, when all else fails, what do you do? You turn to, you turn to the words, man. You turn to the Lord. Okay, but during that whole time, okay, you didn't build no relationship with the Lord, man. And that's just an example of how people turn to and wait for the last minute, the last second, to say, okay, well, I'm gonna go to who they call, God, okay, to receive healing, man. All right. So before you even take the herbs, right? Before you do any of the things that's cause the process of the body to be healed, okay, it first has to be ordained from the Spirit, Lord, from the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. Okay, because they probably have people out there that's try to go through all the different treatments, heal the body this way and that way, and turn to the earth. But if the Lord doesn't sanction your healing, you're not going to be healed, man. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this other precept, because this one won't be long. Okay, all right, let's see, where's that? Okay, we get the same one in the GNT. This is Psalms 104 and verse 14. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle and herb for the service of man. Okay, and it says that he may bring forth food out of the earth, right? And obviously we have I'll read it in the GNT, and it says, you make grass grow for the cattle and plants for use, right? Salaka, for us to use so that we can grow our crops, man. And there's many different plants, man. Many different plants that are beneficial to the body, man, to the system, okay, that the Lord has, that that grows on the earth, man. Okay, so you need to gather as much knowledge as you possibly can, just so you can know for yourself, man. Because eventually, at some point in time, ain't gonna be no well, I don't want to say that word, but we take things for headaches. We take things for for stomach issues, for digestive issues that Esau offers. People still take things for that, okay, that he offers. But guess what? There's gonna become a point in time in the day where you're not gonna be able to go to him to get those things, right? But you may have knowledge of a particular plant or herb, man, that might help you out. Okay. All right, let's go to I believe it's Sirach 38. Okay. Let's go here. Okay, this is Sirach 38 in verse 1. It says, honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses, okay, which ye may have of him, for the Lord have created him. Okay, and there's certain brothers who are very much so into learning about the different herbs, how they work, how can you heal the body. Okay, if you're going, whatever ailments you're going through, the Lord has put it on their spirit to learn about these herbs, okay, so that you can receive the healing instead of taking basically the placebo. Because what Esau offers you, really, he offers you treatment. It's really offers you, okay, he's not really looking to cure you, man. He's not looking to give you a cure. You just take it, boom, this is gonna knock out your cold. This is gonna knock out the flu. This is gonna knock it. It's, what I'm saying. It's gonna eradicate it from out the body. When you go to these different, see if I get the right words here again. Big pharma companies. I'll say that. Okay. When you go to these different companies, what do they offer you, man? They offer you something that just what? It basically just subsides the symptoms. It doesn't just go in there right out the gate, attack what the issue is and eradicate the problem, right? It just subsides the symptoms. Okay, you got a cold, a fever, right? A flu, like symptoms. Okay, this is going to make those symptoms subside, right? You're not going to really have those symptoms. Okay, and the whole time you thinking, oh, I'm good, I'm here, like I'm not really experiencing a fever no more. Meanwhile, your body's still fighting off the root cause, right? But that's just what this devil does, man. Okay, and he knows what he's doing. And for treatment, he gets more money, man. You keep coming back, taking the same stuff over and over again, without the knowledge of really curing yourself, so to speak, and the knowledge of the herbs, man. Okay, I'm gonna read a little bit down in the chapter, then probably close up. This is verse 2, and it says, for the Most High cometh healing, right? For the Most High cometh healing. Okay, Yes, you have the doctor or the physician. Okay. Yes, you have the herbs there. But from the Most High cometh healing. All right. And he says, and he shall receive honor of the king. It says, the skill of the physician shall lift up his head. Right. And it says, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. Right. He's going to kind of be in a bit of a case of a marvel, like, dang, we really needed this brother. Okay. Because the Lord had that to be, a part of his office, his lot, so to speak, right? Okay, this is what that brother was good at. And we needed to know these things, okay? Well, ultimately, in so many ways, we basically got to become our own physicians. We got to know how to have at least a basic understanding on how to heal the body, man, of certain ailments, because we know, that more pestilences are coming, right? We have a good understanding of that. Okay, now we know we still pray. Okay, we still fast because the scriptures say that the Most High come in healing. Okay, but ultimately, it is good to to have an understanding of that. Okay, now I believe we'll get this real quick. Let's see if I can find this. I believe it's alright. This is Sirach 5 and verse 15. It says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. Right? So don't be ignorant of anything, whether it be small or great, man. Okay, because the men of the Lord are what, man? They're basically the so-called the smartest men on the planet Earth, so to speak, right? Because they hold the testimony, right? The knowledge, the wisdom and understanding of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shad. Okay, which things are written in what? It's written in secret. It's written in code, and no one else can really obtain it unless the Lord sanctions it. Okay. All right. Let's go to all right, we'll continue on reading. It says, was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known? And he have given men skill, right, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. Right? I believe the scriptures talk about, when the spirit is introduced to the body, he gives certain men certain gifts. And, one of those gifts, I believe, is the gift of healing. Okay? When this is that man. Okay, that has the ability, right, the knowledge, okay, to heal, man, to heal the body. All right. And it says, with such doeth he heal men. Okay. And it says, and taketh away their pains. So he's needed, man. That's a great, that's a powerful office, And it says, of such doeth the apothecary make a confection, and of his works there is no end, and from his peace, and from him is peace over all the earth. Verse 9, it says, my son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Lord, and he will make thee whole, man. Okay. So, we still have, we still have a physician, okay, and that physician, within the body, he does his thing, right? Because ultimately, the things that he learned, could be passed down from brother to brother, okay, and that at least that basic knowledge, basic principles, basic tincture making, basic, I forgot what they call it, but it's another thing that's like in a form of a tincture. But basically, it does the same thing. Okay, can be passed down to help brothers with the healing, man. Okay, these are the things that is used for what, the title of today's lesson, right? The healing portion, the healing factors. Stay away from, big pharma, okay, and the things, that they offer you, man. Okay, because it's no good. And I'm let me see. Let me get this here scripture, then I'm gonna close out. All right. Okay, this is Job 13 and verse 4. It says, right, and this is talking about Esau, Edom now. Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white man, offers you all kinds of things that all forms of treatment, for the body, man. And this man is so wicked, I'm gonna use a form of his treatment that he uses. Like for instance, if you have, cancers, okay, cancers within the body, all right, it's basically, the body's way of taking all these different toxins and different things within the body and placing it all in one spot, right, to keep it from spreading. Okay, that's the concept, that's the idea. So you end up with what? A lump somewhere within the body. If you got what Esau calls breast cancer, then you will have a lump, right, within the breast. And he may call that a tumor or whatever. Okay, say, oh, you got cancer, you got tumor here. Okay, but that's the body's form, that's the body's way of saying, hey, look, you got a lot of things going on in your body that's wrong, and we need to collect this stuff and place it somewhere, man, because if not, what I'm saying, it'll spread like wildfire, and then you'll definitely be through. Well, he goes in and he performs what they call a biopsy. Okay, and in this biopsy, he does an incision, all right, on the the tumor, the cancer, whatever. Okay, and he takes samples of it to say what form it is, what kind it is. Okay. Now, what he's done is, what the body had done, okay, was collected all that stuff and stored it in one area. Okay. Well, with him opening it up, okay, now it's going to go everywhere. So when you go and get the treatment, okay, you go and get the treatment, guess what? You might find out a year, 6 months, a few months later, where it's spreading, the cancer, the tumor is spreading, it's here, it's there, it's everywhere now. You know what I'm saying? We got to do this and this and this, right? Okay, and they also, send you through something. They call it, I believe they call it chemo, like chemotherapy or something like that, where they use radiation to radicalize or just destroy the cancer cells. Well, yes, that's true. Okay, it does destroy cancer cells. Okay, so some people come out, basically what they call cancer free, but what they don't tell you is it also destroys a good, so-called good cells, the good ones that are there too. So you should be rehabbing the body in a certain way. Obviously, your diet can't be the same, right? because that's where most of the issues start at anyway, right? This, your gut is the second brain, okay, to your whole body. Your gut's off, your intestines off, your colon's off, okay. That's going to lead to, that'll lead to, gut issues, whether it's a tear in the gut lining, okay, kidney issues, pancreas, liver issues, okay. All right. So, he'll go and do that, but he doesn't tell you truly how to heal yourself. So people end up going back into, I believe it's called remission, right? They said, oh, you beat it for a year, 2 years, or 3 years, sometime, whatever, 4 years, and then it comes right back, and it really, takes you out completely, right? Same form of treatment and everything like that. All right, but I'm just giving you an example of, you have the healing factor, okay, which is Yahweh Shemal Shai, the physician, and the herbs, man. And then you got the placebo, man. Stay away from the placebo, which is Esau's witchcraft, because that's all it is, man. It's witchcraft, it's sorcery, okay. Stay away from that. But this is Job 13 and verse 4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value." You see that? So Esau, Edom, his so-called healing factors, right? Because I don't want to say the other word, just for whatever algorithm purposes or whatever. But he's a forger of lies, man. And as a matter of fact, I'll get that real quick in the GNT before I close out. This is Job 13 and 4 says, "You cover up, right, your ignorance with lies. You are like doctors who cannot heal anyone." See that? Okay. So yeah, that's that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I had through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Hey, look, the title of today's lesson was Healing Factors versus the Placebo, man. Stay with the Lord, right? These are the factors in which you need to heal, right? Yahweh Shema Shai, praying, fastings, a brother that's into the herbs that can tell you how things work, general knowledge and information on the herbs, right? Being a service man, the different plants, okay, and those are your healing factors, okay. But stay away from the placebo, stay away from big pharma. If you can, stay away from these different hospitals and stuff like that, man. Don't go to him for nothing, okay. And the Lord will do the rest, man. You keep your faith, all right. But that's all I have, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying first and foremost, and hope for elect, okay. But prior to getting out of here, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Archakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the whole for elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, all right. Kwam Yasha Allah, Ababa Ball, and Shalom.